Hello guys, Antoine here with Simarchitecture and welcome back to a new video. So today we're not building the Hamptons mansion I've been teasing you about for a few days now on Twitter. We're actually building something really different, something I've never built before on this channel. This is a Asian slash Japan slash Chinese, all of that together inspired build. We're building a tea house which was inspired by a picture I saw which was taken by a friend of mine who's spending a few weeks in Japan, and I really felt inspired. It was actually a yellow house built on the water, surrounded by a very lush nature with a lot of trees, bushes. It was something really relaxing and I wanted to build this, and it was really challenging for me because this is the first time I'm building a very Eastern-like build. I already did build something inspired by India or Middle East, but never by China, Japan. So yes, I was really excited. Every time I build something I've never built before, I'm always excited, and I don't know how, but I always find some creative way to do what I want to do. So this is really stimulating and I really enjoyed it. So for this build, we are in Windenburg on a 64 by 64 lot. I know that Windenburg is not a very Asian-like world, but actually what I wanted was a 64 by 64 lot surrounded by nature, and you can only see this in Windenburg, so that's why we're building here. Maybe sometimes, or some days we're going to get an Asian word. It would be fantastic. I don't know if you guys play The Sims 3, but in The Sims 3 Adventure, I think it was called, there was 3 words, a French word, which by the way was not French at all. I'm saying this as a French myself. There was also an Egyptian word and a Chinese word, which was my favorite part. And yeah, it was very relaxing and very exotic, if I can say. It was something very different. So yes, I hope someday we're gonna have such a word in The Sims 4. I mean, we already have Solani, which is very tropical, exotic, and an Asian word would be something really nice. So for this build I use many tricks. The first one I can tell you about is the way I put the first floor of the house over the water. Normally you cannot do it. You have to use a little trick, which is that the first floor is actually the second floor. I don't know if that makes sense, but what I did, you will see it at the very beginning of the video, is that I built the first floor. On top of this I built the second floor, and then I deleted the first floor, and from that I took the second floor and lower it down, so it actually looks like it's the first floor. So this is very useful. The only limit with this trick is that actually, as it's considered as the second floor, you can only build 3 floors, as the maximal 8 is 4 floors. Yes, 4 floors. So yes, this is something you have to know when you're using this trick. You cannot build something super high, but for me, in this case, it was perfect. The other trick I use is that, of course, this house is on the water, but it cannot stand by itself. It's not floating somehow on the water, so you need some pillars, and as it's the second floor, you cannot use the stilt foundation. It's only possible in Solani, actually, when you're building over the water. So what I did is that I went through our new debug menu with more than 1000 new objects. So I found those wooden pillars, which I honestly can't tell you how to find them. Actually have to scroll down everywhere just to find an object. This is the thing that is kind of upsetting and really time consuming, but okay, it's probably the beginning. Maybe sometimes it's gonna be categorized, but yes, there are some wooden pillars. They're in different colors, in different styles. Some of them are a bit more rustic and other are more modern. I took them kind of, yeah, generic ones, which are very normal. And I put them in the water, so yes, it just gives the illusion that we're using steel foundation, but actually we're not. But still the game allows it and it's totally playable, so there's no problem about this. And then the other tricks I use are all the things I did with the rocks, the waterfall, and by the way, the waterfall is something very great when you want to kind of up your landscaping. And you can watch Kate Emerald's video about how to create a waterfall with the new objects that are released with the last update. For this you will need nevertheless island living, because the waterfall comes with island living. But if you have it, then you will be able to build a waterfall, and actually it's not very complicated. Once you got how to do it, it's fine, and you can do it whenever you want. The tricky thing is that you have to find a way to hide the back of the waterfall, like I did with an arch and some rocks, bushes, just to make it look a bit more natural. But in the end, the result is very great looking, and I think this is one of the most important and most relaxing feature of this lot that we're building right now. So I'm very happy with it. Also, most of the greeneries that I'm using are from this new menu, this new debug menu. Most of them I think are from Jungle Adventure. Excuse me, I always have a problem with reminding me the name of the expansion pack, so sometimes I just don't know how they're called. So I think Jungle Adventure or Jungle Living, I don't know, because everything is something living, city living, island living. Why not Jungle Living? But I think it's Jungle Adventure. So yes. That being said, you should really go through this new menu with all the new objects. It's, as I said, very time consuming, but very, very useful. You will find amazing objects that you can find in the real game. And actually you don't need CC anymore almost, because you have so much new possibilities. And every day I discover new objects, so it's very cool. The only annoying thing is that once you found something, you can lost it the day after that, because you can't remember where it was. And the other thing that is kind of annoying is that you cannot duplicate the objects. You have to go back to the menu, take it and place it in the world. So yes, but I think it will be improved. It's always, all this stuff is always being improved, and a lot of people complain about this, and I think the gurus heard about it, so maybe in a next update we're going to have it. So I can tell you a bit more about the build itself. So this is a tea house. I didn't want to build a house like a regular house where people are living, because according to me we don't have enough items to make a very Asian authentic house. So I decided to go for a public lot, which is very simple. It's actually a generic lot. It's not a residential lot or anything, or a bar or a bakery or whatever, because I didn't want to put toilets and so on, all the stuff that are mandatory when you're building a public lot. So there actually on the first floor a sitting area with tables, some, I don't know how they call this, but there's red wooden panels, and there is a small fountain in the center just to give it a very zen atmosphere, very relaxing. And that's pretty much it actually about the first floor. There's some plants and stuff, and the most interesting probably is upstairs. There is a meditation room with those yoga mats or whatever you call them, and there's also a small fountain, and I I did a little altar, I think it's called, with a statue and a lot of candles everywhere if you want to pray so in this case the pig god. So I don't know if it's something real, but I found it very funny, and it's actually one of the only Asian looking statues that we have in the game. If I remember, it came with the New Year update. So yes, I also use a lot of those Chinese, Asian lamps, paper lamps, which gives a very Asian-like look. So this is what we want. And yes, actually the most interesting part, according to me, is still the exterior with this beautiful pond with all the lily flowers. I also put candles on the water, so at night it's very beautiful and very relaxing. Now the only thing I want is that this place is real. I know it isn't, but sometimes, you know, life would be better in the Sims, or much easier, of course. You just have to say motherload and you have money and you can go wherever you want and build whatever you feel like building. Imagine how incredible it would be. I know that some people are doing this for real. They're called billionaires, but yes, probably it's not as fun as in The Sims. Anyway, I don't know what I'm saying and it's probably very annoying, so I'm just going to tell you about the next videos. The next one is very probably going to be the Hamptons Mansion, which I'm still working on. I'm almost done with it, so it must come in a few days, I promise. I promise. Anyway, excuse me. And then there is this project of a palace in Sulani using Felixander custom content. I only built the exteriors, so it's coming along nicely. It's going to be there in a few, not days, but maybe weeks. And I have other ideas which I won't tell you about because you know me, every time I tell you I want to build something, I end up never building it. So yes, I'm not telling you everything now. And yes, and as we have a few minutes left, I just wanted to make a big announcement about myself. I actually found a job in Paris. So I'm very, very excited. I'm going to be the community manager of a company managing many heritage places, museums in France, everywhere in France. So this is going to be very exciting, very challenging, and very stimulating to be in Paris. And I'm going to find a flat in Versailles, I think, because Versailles is very close to Paris, but more green, more, you know, in Paris it's hard to breathe and you feel overwhelmed all the time. In Versailles is way more easy to live. And of course there is the palace, which I will be able to visit every day, so I'm very, very excited. Now it's time for me to leave you. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, don't forget to like and subscribe, and as always, I will see you next time. Bye.